Thanks for joining me for another video edition of Trigger Point Research setups, and we're going to be talking about something new today. We're going to be talking about XONE, which is symbol XONE, and you can tell right now that it's starting to break to a new level that looks like it could break out. In fact, this was something that we had talked about last week in our regular session of Trigger Point Research setups that we put on our website at triggerpointresearch.com, and you can see right here that we have a list of some of the actual names that we are looking at as, these may actually do something here, but they're not actually at the point. But one of the ones you can see here is XONE right there. They have not too long until their overall earnings came out and from last week, but yet what's happening is that we are seeing a dramatic move in the stock right now. But I want to actually point out what's happening with regard to the stock here. So take a look at this. You can see very easily, there's been an upward pattern, a continuation of a trend that has moved, and you really haven't seen too many breaks of a trend moving on here. You can see that there was the IPO back in March or sometime, and then it started to move higher. A few times it dipped down, but let's take a look when we put on a couple of the key areas that we want to look at. Let's in particular put on the trigger point, the radar here, which gives us the inside view of some very important areas. Now, what we're seeing here is something very, very good. Because if you look at the chart all the way to the right, and we look at what's happening right now in the breaking level, you see that there's a little bit of resistance left that you can see that is identified by the area of purple around $70. Now, there's a lot of times that investors and traders will look at key levels of round numbers, 70, 60, 65. The round number is an area that often will provide some support or resistance for a particular name. And what's happening here is that you're seeing that happen, $70. And if you look even further, let's take a look at something here. The level of about $70 is where there is the potential for some action, because right above there really is no volume that came in that is doing anything to prevent the sellers from just blowing out their position, or the shorts from blowing out their position, because there's really nothing above here. So if they were playing the lower levels all the way up to about here, they're starting to get worried. And that's what you want to look for. There's a pretty good short interest on this. About 27% of the shares are sold short of the float. And when you look at something like that, you have to realize that there's a springing action that could actually come into play here when you look at a stock. Now, what we're looking at primarily is the daily, and if we take off this radar, but we put on the altimeter, which is the levels again, but more identified from a algorithmic standpoint. When you look at this, you can see very clearly that when the stock did in fact break on several different occasions, back in June and July, you broke the level that was the key resistance, and you had this incredible move higher. There was no resistance before that. You can see there's really nothing to the left there. And then what happened is you saw a consolidation, right? We saw a consolidation up to about 70, topped out, and you saw a gas move up to about 75, came down to about 67, and then it started doing further consolidations, but with this uptrend that was continuing. So we'll get rid of some of these lines, but I want to show you what we're really focusing on right now is that we have a series of levels right about the 67 level and 67 to 68, we'll call it, that was actually a very significant number that was recently broken. And when that did break, there was the continuation of that uptrend. And why we use these is we want to see where the most incredible amount, the most enhanced amount of volume and price action was. And once we saw that really break demonstratively, we saw that there was the opportunity for the upside. Now, I would like to see really a true breakthrough about 71, but this is a stock that could see significant upside if it continues on the breakout. So keep an eye on this, and of course we are alerting all of our subscribers to the best and opportunities on a breaking up or breaking down. You can subscribe for a 2-week trial, 14 days of all of the various indicators that come from us in terms of trigger point research, and whether you want breaking up, breaking down, or bouncing. There's something we use called bouncing, which would be look like this, where it comes down and then bounces back up, or it comes up into an important zone and then bounces back down. Check it out, and we'll see you this week with some more ideas, and make sure to check out triggerpointresearch.com.